Hey, how you doing? Glad you're on. Hey, girl. Cuzco. So who said complicated? It's complicated dating situations. Someone tells you it's complicated. I'm looking for that. I have my own opinions of that whole it's complicated thing. But you know, I wait for mine. So we're gonna be discussing it's complicated tonight. Hey, hey. Stacey, haven't seen you in a long time. Miss you. Hey, girl. Hello. Hello. Mohammed. Hello. Kashibo. Hello. Hey, everybody. Hey. So you'll hear me talking people on both Instagram and on Facebook. So I try to run them both at the same time. So today, we'll see tonight's topic for season 2. Oh Lord, somebody's always messaging me while I'm on. Season 2, episode 10 is going to be, it's complicated dating situations. So you've been in a situation where someone says, I'm in a situation, it's complicated. But yeah, so they still want to date you. So what do you think about that? What does that mean to you? It's complicated. Whether they are still married and they're getting a divorce, they've been separated for years, they're together for the children only, they reside in separate residences, whatever the reasons they gave you were. I want to know what your opinion is about complicated dating situations. It's something that you've done, something that you will do. What's your opinion on it? We're trying to get live out of here on the way. I can see both. Having a hard time seeing. IG. But yeah, so that's what tonight is all about. Complicated dating situations. Anybody had a complicated dating situation? I think a lot of times life can be complicated. So of course your dating situation can absolutely be affected by that, right? You know, again, like I was saying, some situations where people are married but separated for a long time, they haven't gotten a divorce officially for monetary reasons or whatever. What do you think about that? I'm wondering about that. Anybody want to comment on it's complicated dating situations? I'm going to try to straighten up this one real quick. Give me a minute. Really, so I can be able to see. Hello. Hello. Running a little bit behind. Hey. All right. Okay. So just wondering, guys, talk to me about complicated. That's fine. IG's fine. Whatever you're comfortable on, whatever platform you're more comfortable on. I'm on wireless for one, and I'm on the actual carrier Verizon for the other. So it doesn't matter whichever one you guys want to. Hey, Ken. Hey, Rocky. Hey, Marvin. Everybody, talk to me about it's complicated dating situations. Somebody want to start for me? Let me know if you've seen the situation, heard of this before, your opinion is something that you've been involved in, something you would do. What does it's complicated mean to you? Because we know we see that status before, you know, on Facebook, complicated. Open relationships. Hey, hey. Good to see everybody. Hey, Kenny. Hey, Kiki. Lala. I see y'all over there on Instagram, too. I'm watching. I'm doing both, actually, guys. I'm just trying to get the best angle for it. Got to catch some angles, like Drake says, right? Anyway, so I want to talk to you guys about complicated dating situations. Yeah. Maybe that's better. I don't know. I'm trying to find the best angle where I can get everybody in the same time. Yeah. So, anybody been in a situation like that, or you dated someone, they were maybe coming out of a marriage, a divorce, a long-term relationship? Anybody? That's my favorite song right there. That's my number 2 H-Town song. Y'all hear in the back. Sleep You, Wear You. And a little birdie told me that that song was written in like 5 minutes. Whoa. I love that song very much. Bree, what's up? Hey, Nina. Okay. Lala says, what about, Lala is on Instagram, y'all, and she says, what about when you take a break from each other but have an oops and someone gets preggers but ends up back together? Does happen. Then, okay, so Leah, hold that thought. So then Kenny says, it's complicated means that someone doesn't want to let go of something. Second. And she says, I'm asking for a friend. Okay. All right. So when you take a break from each other but have an oops and someone gets pregnant, but you end up back together. Actually, honestly, I've seen that situation happen in real life. More than you know, Lala, it's happened. So it's complicated. I think really it's up to you what you're willing to accept. I mean, if y'all took a break from each other, you know my opinions are strong, and you know I usually hold them to the end. So you're saying y'all took a break from each other, but someone slipped up or they decided to be with someone else physically, and then, of course, the woman got pregnant on either side, whether it was the man in the relationship got someone pregnant or the woman in the relationship got pregnant by somebody else outside of the two people in the relationship. So this does happen. I've seen it happen. So do you think, I mean, I really think that it takes two grown people and two people who really want to be with each other to accept the fact that you were not together. That's one thought process, right? The other part of the thought process is if you really, really love that person and you were legitimately just taking a break from that person, then why would you be having sex with someone else anyway, right? You got pregnant or you got somebody pregnant because y'all were not together. Y'all were broke up, just taking a little break from each other. Somebody wasn't keeping it real, like I always say, keep it real. People always say, I keep it real, I keep it real. But people usually lie a lot, right? So that's what happens, okay? And they already have a child together. Okay. All right. And so Kenny says on Instagram, Kenny says, it's complicated means that someone doesn't want to let go of something. Kenny, I absolutely agree with you. I'm watching. I see. So they both make very good points. Romeo, welcome. Davey, hey, Davey, I haven't seen you in a million years. And Steve, hey, y'all. Briscoe, what's up? Okay, so look, you guys, situation is that he says that it's complicated means somebody doesn't want to let someone or something go, right? Women and men are both guilty of this in situations, right? We all are guilty. Listen, I say it's equal opportunity F-ups around here. Everybody can mess up. Nobody's perfect, right? You can't ever say, oh, I did everything right, I did everything perfect, and you were the one that did everything wrong. That's not how it happens. So I want to say that in a situation that, when you see a situation like that specifically, when it says it's complicated, people say, oh, it's complicated. That means that you don't want to let something or someone go. Whatever the reason is that you don't let go, maybe you'll have a business together, maybe you'll have financial obligations together, maybe you'll have small children that you're not ready to to break that news to yet. Nobody really knows all the time. Or maybe you're just greedy and you just want more than one thing, right? You got a fish on the line, but you want to continue fishing, right? Women and men both do this. Hey, Mac Drake. How y'all doing? Listen, I call you out if I can, and I wait to if I can. Hey, over here. All right. Welcome, everybody, on Instagram and on Facebook live at the same time. So please work with my eyes because I'm going back and forth. So we're talking about it's complicated dating situations. Been a situation where it's complicated. So Lisa or Lala brought up the fact of y'all are just taking a break from each other, and then all of a sudden somebody steps out. There's a oops per se. Somebody ends up getting pregnant on either side. Either it's the dude in the relationship gets somebody pregnant, or the woman in the relationship gets somebody pregnant. Y'all get back together. Are you going to be able to deal with it? That's a complication. Then Kenny says on IG, Kenny says, well, you're in a situation where it's complicated means that somebody doesn't want to let something or someone go, right? Okay. And I told you my thought process on that too. There's reasons why people choose what they choose. And I will share my opinion later. Talk to me about it's complicated. Will you deal with a situation with somebody who says it's complicated? Because that used to be, is it probably still a status on Facebook as far as relationship status? It's a good thing that Instagram don't have that. But people really will readily post that they are married or whatever on Instagram so they can avoid all that extra stuff, right? if they don't want anybody trying to flirt with them or whatever. And Lala says maybe it's that they aren't clear on where their relationship stands. Right. But Lala, in that situation where you're not really clear where your relationship stands, do you really think that you should be entertaining other people at that time? Open relationship is totally different. That's a complication. That's a definition of complications, is open relationship. We have talked about open relationships in the past. Some people cannot do it. Some people are just far too jealous and possessive of what they consider to be theirs. They're looking at the nuclear relationship, traditional relationship, the roles of a man and a woman. Two people together, a commitment. Some people are really, really, really shy away from that type of open relationship type stuff. So that could absolutely be a complication. Now, this is what I say. You never should do what makes other people comfortable. You should always do what makes you happy and make you comfortable. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. If it works for you, then you'll be in an open relationship. It is what it is, right? Kiki, welcome. So it's complicated dating situations. We talked about the pregnant situation. Somebody just broke up. Well, took a break from each other. Somebody ends up getting pregnant. Dealing with that. You know, complications, right? Okay. So, what other complications in relationships? It's complicated. Dating situations. Somebody's married but want to be greedy. Do you think it's okay for men to have female friends and go out with them in a non, say a married man or a committed man, a married woman or a committed woman? Is it okay for her to have male friends? Is it okay for him to have female friends? Do they actually go to dinner with their female friends or their male friends? Is that okay? What do you think about that? Hey, Karen. Thank you for joining. So we're talking about is complicated dating situations. And like I says, it's complicated. Could be the side chick or a side dude. Trust me, there's plenty of them too. Plenty of them. They call them Jody. They go by many names, but Jody, the backdoor man. When you're walking out the front, he's coming through the back door. When you come to the front door, he hits the back door. He's coming home, he takes off and leaves, right? Okay, that's what's happening. They call Jody the backdoor man. That's what's up. Okay, so the side chick or the side dude, that's a complication. That's a wrinkle. And listen, relationships have taken a whole different turn these days. There's a whole different array of terms for relationships these days. Last year we did a show, the latter part of 2016 or early 2017, I think, I did one called situationships, because you're in a situationship, because there's not a true, clear definition of what y'all are doing. This is what happens a lot of times when you start dating someone, or, you know, like going out on dates with someone or something, and you like them or whatever, but y'all don't have a clear definition of what's going on between you. And then people start catching feelings, people start getting mad. What can you do then? You know what I mean? The cleanup woman, right? The cleanup woman or Jody. Sure, right about that, Lala. But I'm saying, you know, it happens. This is the thing. I mean, honestly, it comes down to people just being greedy. Hey, Larry, big bro, what's up? People just being greedy. I mean, this is my point. I mean, you know what? You're a human being. You have freedom. You have the freedom. You possess free will. You possess the freedom to do everything for yourself as it relates to you, your mind, body, soul, heart. You know, your behavior is important. My hair is sticking up everywhere, y'all, so forgive me. I've been out in the heat looking at shoot site locations all afternoon. So it's been hot and humid out there, and I rushed in here to get to y'all. So just ignore the frizzy, fuzzy hair. But look, so in a situation like that where you don't have no clear definition, nobody can really be mad, right? And you get yourself into a situationship. So what do you do when you start to catch feelings for somebody, but it's complicated? It's complicated. So when you meet somebody, maybe it's with Lala says maybe someone is with someone who's locked up. Well, how do you feel about that? Okay, yeah, you know what? It's that whole "you gonna hold me down" thing when I'm gone, right? If I go on lock, are you gonna be real and true and hold me down, or are you gonna do what you're gonna do? This is an age-old debate, because you know, a lot of times when people get locked up, if you're thinking about it from that realm, when people get locked up for different various infractions, you know what I'm saying, or illegal behavior or criminal activity, a lot of times you or the person that has, if it's not you that gets locked up and it's the other party in the relationship, they were also benefiting from, you know, your criminal activities or all of that. So it's kind of like they feel like, hey, look, you know, I gave you everything. At least you can really hold me down while I'm not here, you know, and, you know, just stay true to me. You know, I mean, that's kind of deep, that one right there, somebody getting locked up, you know. And what do you do when somebody gets locked up? You know what I mean? And then how can you make a promise to hold somebody down? What if they got 25 years? You know what I mean? And you ain't in a situation where, you know, you're going to do a quarter of that time. You know what I'm saying? If you have good behavior. So you run into that situation, sadly. But this is the other thing too. A lot of those relationships, people are honest and say, look, man, let me tell you like this. Look, I'm going down. I'm going to be on lock. Just make sure that you're done. I'm going to give you a heads up notice that I'm coming home. You'll know before I get home. So go on and get XYZ up away from me. Don't bring them to my house. Don't disrespect me, and don't let me know or find out about it. And I mean, you are good. But you know, people, like I say, loose lips sink ships. So people always run their mouth. Somebody's always gonna find out. So it's sort of like you got to have that clarity. If the person's going on lock, yes, it's complicated. If the person's going on lock, y'all need to have a very clear definition of what it is you're doing. You know what? See you later. It was great while we were together, but I can't promise to hold you down like that. Don't think less of me. If you do think less of me, okay, we'll get over it. You know what I mean? It's not being cold-hearted. It's not being rude. That's being real and honest. You know what I mean? Or you could just be like, hey, I'm going to hold you down. I mean, I know people that have lost their spouse, you know, 20 years ago, and they are still not with anybody else, whether they lost their spouse, you know, to death or whatever. So, you know, it's complicated means many, many things, okay? So it's complicated could mean, what about people that are polygamous? People that have multiple wives where that is allowed. It's complicated. Before you know it, hey Hector, before you know it, you're gonna be the next wife, right? That's complicated. Paco, welcome. So complicated. It's complicated, dating situations. What other kind of complications do you think? And she said that's why it's complicated. Yeah. So many, you know, but this is my thing, like, honestly, when you're dealing with a situation, first of all, you know, I always say to you guys that you should be self-knowing. Over everything, more than anything, you should be very self-aware. You should be self-knowing. Stop repeating the same behaviors that continue to get you into situations that are not to your benefit. And what I mean by that is they're not emotionally, spiritually healthy for you at all. You know, you're just getting yourself into the same emotional drain, and you keep just going down the same path expecting a different result. It just doesn't happen like that. I don't know. Yeah, some people are. Yeah, you can come over if you want. It's fine. IG is a little bit different. You know what I mean? So you're welcome to do that. That's fine. So yeah, Facebook is cool. So yeah, but complicated dating situation. So, you know, if someone said to me, you know, I want to go out with you or whatever, I'll take you on a date. My first thing is, what's your situation? Are you married? Are you single? What's your breakup? What's going on? Talk to me, because I don't need no crazy people stalking me, okay? I'm not going to be out here dating someone. This is just me. I can only speak for me. But I'm not going to be out here dating someone if I'm involved in a situation still. Hey, Marcos, how you doing? I'm not going to be out here starting to date someone if I'm in a complicated situation myself. If I'm not at home with what I'm doing, and I'm not one with what I'm doing, and I'm involving the emotions or the feelings or the reputation of not only myself but someone else, I'm going to have to be very, very careful with the way I handle myself out here. So for me, I'm not going to be out here in this time where social media, where everything is plastered all over the internet, where everybody knows everyone and everything that's going on and because you know you have so much extensive social media in that situation, you got to be real with yourself, and you got to know the decision that you're making, how that affects the people that are around you, is what I say always. So for me, if I'm not truly single, I'm not going to be out here saying, hey, it's complicated. I'm not going to do that. You know, people have all kinds of arrangements. I mean, listen, I know people that, you know, they've been divorced for years. They still live in the same house, you know what I'm saying? Because of their children. They sleep in separate rooms. They've agreed, hey, we still live here in the house. The children are small. We want to try to bring them up in a situation where it's as normal as possible. But you have your room. I have my room. Don't come over there. Don't say anything slick to me. You can do what you want. I'm going to do what I want. Let's make sure that, you know, the kids' schedule, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Don't bring anybody here. I won't bring anybody here. That's what you do. If you want to go out, if you're going to go out, that's fine. Let's talk about it. Let's see who's going to stay with the kids that night or whatever, or what we're going to be doing. You're going to do your trips with the kids. I'm going to do my trips with the kids. But we're not going to bring anybody into the mix with the children, because if we're here for the children's benefit, if we've compromised to the degree that we're living under the same roof and we're not together, divorced or whatever, or completely done with each other, not even any of that extracurricular activity late at night or something like that, none of that, no creep into the bedrooms. But if we are really not together and we're really legitimately doing this just for the kids, then the situation is going to stand that we are not going to have someone in the house. I've seen that. Now that is complicated, because how do you tell someone that you're dating? Because people don't trust people off top, right? If I told you, if we started going on a date, if I went on a date with you and you said, what's your situation? And I said, oh, me and my ex-husband live together. We do this for the children. He has his room. I have my room. So you'd be like, well, in some ways, somebody could respect that, right? They might be like, okay, I can see that. But that takes an enormous amount of trust for someone to actually put that trust and believe in you. And if that person has any bit of jealousy in them, hey, Rodney, if that person has any amount of jealousy in them, they are not going to be okay with the fact of you being under the roof, or would be me under the roof with my ex-husband, even just for the sake of the children. Because they would think, you know, it doesn't matter. It's what works for you and your family is what counts. But yet still, it's complicated. That is complicated. Two parents living under one roof is complicated. Because think about it, the person that I'm dating can never come to my home, because my ex-husband and I have an agreement that nobody's coming to the home where we're raising the children together. We have decided to come together, stay under the same roof, try to keep as much normalcy for the child while they are, you know, at this precious, tender stage in their life or development. Then you have to make a decision at that point and say, well, is this doing more harm than good? Because situations are, I'm going to be real with you. I never saw my parents fight, argue, disagree about anything. They made sure that we didn't see any of that. Yes, they were divorced when I was 11. It happens. But we didn't know anything about it. Yes, it was traumatic to us. But I think it would have been more traumatic and more hurtful if they would have stayed under the same roof, and they would have been fighting around us, and they would have been hurting each other, saying nasty things, mistreating one another. So it's to each his own. It's whatever works for you and your family. I always say you have to do what works for you and your family, and not worry about what anybody else says, thinks, feels, or anything. Honestly, when you have children, your children are your priority. Dating has to wait sometimes. Your children are your priority, period. That's what it is. When you have children, your life becomes about your children. Every decision that you make is specific to the children, about the children, and for the children. It is not about you. You gave that right up when you have the children. And people can disagree with me all day long. Oh, mama needs this, mama needs that. No, your child needs you. You're all they have in this world are the parents, or whomever it is that's responsible for them as they live, grow, mature, become educated. It's imperative that you make conscious, positive decision for the children. Absolutely. So it's complicated dating situations. Anything else? Anything else? We pretty much covered a lot of them already, of situations. But again, and like Kenny said on IG, he was like, you know, in this situation, dating complicated. A lot of times the complicated means that somebody doesn't want to let go of someone or something. Yeah, or they're already in a relationship. And, this is the thing. You can believe the number of people that will go for things. People will throw the bait out and see who will take the bait. It happens. There are women and men who will take a part-time situation. There are, for whatever their reasons are. It works for them. Maybe they travel a lot. Maybe they don't want to get too attached. Maybe they just want to go have fun. So they'll accept it for what it is. Maybe they want to have multiple situations going on at one time. So maybe that works for them. So it's complicated. Dating situations can be complicated. One of the most complicated situations is when someone who is in the process of a divorce actually hasn't gotten the divorce and you're dating them. That is very complicated. There's a whole lot going on, especially if they still live in the same home because they're settling things through court. Honestly, believe if you're going through a divorce, you need that separation until all of your proceedings and stuff are over with anyway. It gives everybody a clear head because you're going through an array of emotions while you're going through this whole divorce process. And if anybody tells you different, they're lying. Because let me tell you, I know, me, like most women, when you get a divorce, Reginald, welcome. When you get a divorce, for a lot of women, just speaking, a lot, I'm not saying all because I can only speak for what I know, but in situations where women get divorced, a lot of times they held out till the very end. They did everything that they could do. They gave everything that they could give. They tried and tried and tried. And so by the time that the divorce actually happens, the filing of the divorce, she's already checked out. You know what I mean? There's no more. It's like she's not going to talk to you anymore. There's no more fixing it. It's just a wrap because she kept trying all that crying and begging and pleading and let's sit down and talk and all these letters and all these text messages and emails and calls and counseling visits and stuff like that. All of that stuff that happens in the breakdown of a marriage, unfortunately, when all of that stuff happens, it's just too late to reason at that point. She's already checked out. So when you come to that place, a lot of times it's very unhealthy to remain there because you, as the aggressor or the person now that you want to try to fix it, it's too late when you're trying to fix it now because she already tried to fix it. So how is it that you can go and date? How is it not complicated to date someone who's still married, even if they're going through the divorce process? A lot of the thought process with that is, look, they are married. They could decide to call this divorce off at any time. You can go to your divorce hearing, the final day where you're going to see the judge, and y'all can agree and say, you know what, we don't want to do it. We decided to stay together. And all they're going to do is throw that paperwork out. People do it all. I've seen it happen. People do it all the time. So you're running the risk by dating someone who's married. So that is complicated. So anything else for complicated? It's complicated, dating situations. Married, side piece, open relationship, multiple partners, just open relationship period. All of that is very complicated when you're in the dating process. You really like somebody, y'all vibe, and then you find out. That's why I think it's never too soon to ask questions when you meet someone. What's your situation? Put it on the table. And it was nice to meet you, but that doesn't work for me, right? It just doesn't work for me. So that's what you do. Just be honest and put it on the table. So basically when somebody comes to me, to sum it up, and says, how you doing, da da da, take you on a date, da da, I really don't do all that dating stuff right now, but they're coming out to take you on a date, what's your situation? It's complicated. What do you mean complicated? Break it down right now before we go any further. Then I have the ability to make a conscious decision for me, and I don't have to worry about catching feelings and later on having to make a decision or a dilemma, or facing a dilemma about the situation. Hey, Owen, glad you're here. Hope everybody's good over there. Hey. Owen, so what we've been talking about is complicated dating situations. And so pretty much what we said was situations that you're dealing with people that are in open relationships, people that have a side piece, people that are just greedy, that want to date more than one, people that have multiple partners, people that are married but getting a divorce, people that have been in long-term situations and they have gotten out of, people that are still living in the home together because they agree to do that for the children, for raising the children, and they agree not to have anybody, if you get serious, start dating someone, they agree not to have anybody in the house. They agree that that's just the sanctuary there for the child or the children. Dating, it's a complicated dating situations. And then we even have a situation where people just want to be greedy and they don't want to let anything go. You know, they have something they have something that they just don't want to let go of, or someone in a situation they just refuse to let go of. So that's pretty much what it is. So when you're in that situation, what do? You have to make a decision for yourself. Again, you can never ever make a bad decision for yourself. That's what's important. You have to make a decision that works best for you. No one else can really decide for you what works best for you. You have to make that decision. You have to remember to take care of your spiritual, emotional, mental well-being. It's absolutely necessary, because you're going to deal with an array of different people when you are dealing with relationships as a whole, even the whole dating process. So dating situations can be complicated. There have been very good points brought up here, very good scenarios. So scenarios brought up, and I want to thank you all for watching. Yeah, and always says being honest and upfront. That way you allow the other person to make a conscious decision about something that affects them. I totally agree. I could not agree with you more, Owen. That's just really what it is. You have to actually be open and honest about your situation. There are people who are willing to work with, tolerate, deal with, for whatever their own reasons are, situations. And you have to understand that too. And so a lot of times people will just throw it out there to see who will bite. If they can get you to bite, okay. Well, they've got the best of both worlds. They still get to go home and do whatever they want to do at home or with their open relationship, and they still get to go with you and do whatever they want to do with you, and they don't have to feel two ways about it. But the difference is when you catch the feelings in that situation. So again, you have to do absolutely what is best for you every time. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching. It's been great. Talk to me about what you want for next week's topic. DM me, text me, inbox me, whatever. I will go live again on Instagram, Facebook next Wednesday night. Yeah, next Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard, right here. I will release the topic and do a video reminder. Oh, you're fine, Owen. It's fine. No, I appreciate you coming out, period. Just for the support is great. So that is A-okay. I got lots to do to get ready for my weekend. If any of you haven't seen my my event coming up on the 29th, it's going to be a dope showcase, and it's going to be a mixer. It's going to showcase 7 local artists, 1 R&B, 6 rap, and also it's going to have models. It's going to have everything health, beauty, wellness, and fitness. It's a mixer. It's going to be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at District 1960, which is over at 1960 and TC Jester. And it is going to be catered. So for your ticket, you can go on Eventbrite. You can search Beauty, Brains, and Creative Things Mixer. You can also look on my wall, and you can see that it's posted. You can also look on Instagram and see where I posted it. It's Eventbrite. You get $5 off if you do it at Eventbrite. It's $15 with a catered meal. And if you go day of at the door, it's $20. So either way, we would love to have you there. Come out and network and meet everybody. Come see me. Come visit with me. Come meet the models that I model with Bellroom. And then also come out and meet like makeup artists, fitness professionals, hairdressers, and all of the artists that are going to be performing musically. So I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one. Hey, and remember, there's always a time. There's always a little bit of time to get fancy, and that's me. So I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. Y'all be good.